I've been thinking about celebration as like a motivating idea when developing these games. And I think about the Pokemon company coming out for their presents and saying, we wanted to look at this image, dude. This is what I'm thinking about. Like all of the journeys you've been on, all of the places you've been, all of the people that you've met. We wanted to celebrate them in Pokemon Generation 10, which is why we're calling these games Pokemon Song and Pokemon Dance.
Welcome back to Hidden Power. This is a Pokemon podcast. My name is DustyGogoat. Today I'm with the LumiosePost.
Hello.
And not SoulSilverArt. I'm with Jake Steinberg from the channel Jake Steinberg. What's up?
That's right, baby.
How long would it be, Jake, if you were to explain real quick your Gen 10 theory?
Oh my God.
We had a conversation, Jake and I had a conversation on Discord, maybe it feels like a month ago at least.
Yeah.
And playing through Ultra Sun, right? And looking at the Alola region and those games, Sun and Moon, with the context that those are 20th year anniversary games, I think the idea that we kind of extracted was that like Alola in a lot of ways functions like a crossroads between different cultures, specifically Japanese, and and the Western world.
Yes.
As Hawaii is an American territory. So the idea started percolating, right? Well, where would they choose for the 30th year anniversary game for Generation 10? What region would they want to base that game off of? And a couple themes, also came up. But Jake, if you want to jump in and maybe tackle this idea, it was your idea.
Yeah. So I think it's just something I've been noticing is how Pokemon treats any kind of anniversary or culmination. And it feels like anytime this idea is broached, they go back to this well of nostalgia and kind of capitulating on
30th year anniversary. Yeah,
all of this old stuff kind of coming together. And you don't even have to I've been playing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, and I think it's been shocking to me how much that game is like, remember other games? Remember? And I'm like, you're really into this. And kind of like understanding them to be celebratory games. I think that there's a lot of stuff that was more intentionally chosen than maybe people realize. So what you're saying about Hawaii and why Hawaii is chosen is like, I think people will go, oh, Hawaii for an anniversary game? That's completely random. But it's exactly what you said. And not only is there that connection between it, I mean, obviously there's a historical connection there between indigenous Hawaiians, Japanese people, and Americans and what it is now. But that is, I feel that the game dramatizes this as your character is from Kanto. You're from where the first games took place. And it's like, oh, we've come all of this way. We're somebody from the first games, and now we're here in these new 3D, this region that is American. And I don't know, I think that there is like a very particular, they're trying to hit on particular things and trying to reach a bunch of different people.
And if I can just add in on this, I think everything you're saying, I'm starting to get not like sad emotional, but like I'm starting to like feel what you're saying. And we just had the whole long conversation about a collection, a port collection, right? Wouldn't it make sense to almost like prime your audience and give them an access point? So whether they play the ports first and then they enjoy your Generation 10 game, that's complimentary. But also if they enter the series in Gen 10, now they have a way to actually play those experiences that are being referenced.
Yes. Yeah, and I think that that's important, especially when you look at how many different games and generations are kind of like already available on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
So you just kind of, you know what I mean? Like we talk about Legend ZA bringing in Mega Evolution. We talk about, it's like, oh, you can kind of see how these corners are being shorn up.
You can go to every single region. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And making sure that everybody has those reference points, I think is important for when you are kind of like uplifting them in big future games. And then there's a bunch of cool stuff in Alola. Like there's like a little town you go to and it's like, oh, this town is actually because people from Kanto and Johto came here and they built this town. And I was like, whoa, what a random thing to put in this game. And like the whole game, they're like you go over to somebody and they're like, hey, here's a Guyette. And I'm like, a what? And it's like a pancake from Callus. I'm like, sick. So it's just funny, and I think like
a crepe.
and I think like the the Guyette, you know what's funny about that, by the way? Quick fun fact for you. There's a very famous painter who did a painting. It's something Guyettes, and it actually was it uses that word, and I know that word's used in Pokemon and Kalos, and that painting is actually from the same era of time that we keep talking about with Legends ZA.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
dude.
so just So and it's like a whole thing about like painting like the working class after this period of unrest. It's very cool. But anyways,
do your homework. Links in okay.
But I love this idea now of like, okay, so the region is kind of speaking to this idea of how far we've come, of this game from Japan. And now it's this huge thing in America, and it's this huge thing all over the world, and all these people from all over the world are in this game. They're on vacation in Alola, having a good time, thinking about all the good memories we had with these things. And I love that the Alola games are about family, because now you're seeing these players who have been with this game from Gen 1, and it's now been 20, 25 years, and like they have families now. And it's like I think it's a multi-generational story.
I didn't think about that aspect of it.
It's literally a multi-generational.
It's a reflection of the player.
And and there's like, man, it's so cool. And so I think about that stuff and how they were able to capitulate on that with the Alola games. And I think, okay, so now 30th anniversary. I do not think there is any chance they just put out a normal new generation that is not celebratory. I just can't see that happening. It's not what they do. Even when Masters X has an anniversary, they're like, look, it's like, so I just can't make myself believe that they won't take the chance, especially with a number as big as 30.
Sure.
So now the question becomes, how do you bring these things back but make them new? In Alola, we saw regional forms. That was a huge thing, right? It was this old thing that you remember, that you have familiarity with, but it's new. And I really like that as just like a gameplay element to dramatize this idea, this like very celebratory idea, this thing that is old is new again. And for me, I just keep coming back to a few things. I keep thinking about Kanto. If Kanto does not get pushed in Gen 10, you best believe something for the 30th anniversary, something will be pushing Kanto. There will be a Kanto specific push. It's unavoidable.
Kanto DLC.
Kanto DLC. That's
been a fun idea.
That's the best idea I've heard so far. Okay, so but I love that kind of thing. But I think the other thing I'm thinking about is I guess I'll just drop this. I've been thinking about celebration as like a motivating idea when developing these games. And I think about the Pokemon company coming out for their presents and saying, we wanted to look at this image, dude. This is what I'm thinking about. Like all of the journeys you've been on, all of the places you've been, all of the people that you've met. We wanted to celebrate them in Pokemon Generation 10, which is why we're calling these games Pokemon Song and Pokemon Dance. And I think about these things, right? And I think about what they imply. And I think that this is the generation where you introduce voice acting, something that the Pokemon Company has been practicing with their characters in a lot of the spin-off games and the mobile games, or even in stuff like Pokemon Masters EX. I think they have the infrastructure for it.
And Legends Arceus.
Really?
The player goes like, when he gets hit.
Oh my god, they make little, you're right, there's a little...
Sure, they do that. Yeah.
Barks? They're called barks?
Barks.
Yeah,
they also do a little bit of that in Gen 5.
Okay.
You get a little, you got something like Chibi.
Pokemon.
And that's in
that happens?
Jake.
Yeah, it's in
when you play Black. It's in one of the gym leaders. One of the
gyms.
Oh my god!
Black and
but listen, that's not the voice acting that you're talking about.
Yeah,
but proceed.
I was just joshing.
Yeah. Well, because I love this idea.
Grunting.
So something I've been thinking a lot about is how can we demonstrate celebration and what does that look like? And I think that there are so many ways you can do it. And I think we can really look at Sun and Moon and see how they did it.
Yeah.
And I know, like, man, I almost love this idea of iconic moments from the franchise. Battling Red at the top of the mountain, fighting
Cynthia.
Giovanni, fighting Cynthia. I think that there is room for a game, maybe after a bunch of ports of these games are released that let you experience these moments how they originally were. I think there is room for a game in Gen 10 that gives way to experiencing these moments again. And I'm thinking so much about what Pokemon's been doing lately. This like alternate universe, alternate timeline stuff.
Yeah.
And these paradoxes. And there's a term that has come into popular culture and zeitgeist that I think even a few years ago, it didn't have the same kind of audience comfortability that it has now. And the term I am thinking of is multiverse.
Yeah.
And I'm just imagining.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I'm just processing.
I'm imagining a Pokemon game about nostalgia.
Yeah.
I'm imagining a Pokemon game in which the antagonistic ideas at play are a wanting for the idealized past and an excitement for an unknown future.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about a villain who
idealizes the past. Yeah.
Idealizes the past.
He's looking towards the past, maybe taking and it's abstract, but the idea is that they're maybe taking the wrong ideas from the past, right?
Yeah.
Instead of embracing the future, instead of celebrating the past and moving forward into a better future, he's
calling for all the Pokemon to be returned to one game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or maybe to his Pokeball.
But in Pokemon.
Well, that's
cool.
I love the idea of drawing this villain, somebody who keeps thinking about when he was a kid and the way that he saw the world, maybe the same way that a lot of people who play Pokemon think of. Idealize
they're turning
their own
Gen 1er into a villain.
Yeah. Idealizes their own childhood.
I think at a high level, that kind of that is like similar in a similar way challenges the player base, and I think a lot of people who love Black and White for what they're attempting to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the top level concept that we've all like placed onto the Black and White games, right? The idea of the story being like not truths and ideals, but being that the villains want to like challenge the core principles of Pokemon itself, which is that you shouldn't train them, you shouldn't capture them, right? I think this is a similar thing.
Yeah, completely agree. And I think there's a lot of room there, a lot of flexibility there for you to play on the long history of other villains in this franchise.
Yeah.
And have and this is not, I don't think that this is too crazy what I'm proposing, because you do see it in a way, in a kind of diminutive form with the Rainbow Rocket stuff in Ultra Sun. It's there. This is an idea that they have explored before. You're even
imagine
showing
the
me
evil
this,
villain
this
is
thing.
Rainbow Rocket. It is Giovanni.
I would love the idea.
Hey,
we're in the timeline where he's successful.
They tease that he'll return. They do. Like,
do they tease that?
Yeah,
Bro.
when he leaves, like when it ends or whatever, they say something along the lines of like, they went off to another timeline somewhere, somewhen, or something like that.
And then this is the timeline in 20th anniversary.
Yeah.
30th
So
anniversary.
think about this. Think about this. You've got a Giovanni who is noticeably older, and he's thinking about, man, if only things at these key moments went a different way. Life could be so different. And now Giovanni is going back, maybe going through different timelines, going back to the past, whatever. But you see him affecting iconic moments of Pokemon's past when the player triumphed and making the player lose. And maybe you're going back through, you're chasing him through time,
sure,
making sure that
righting
things, and winning those battles again. So yeah.
That's really cool. I think to continue
because people always talk about going to another region, and I always think about that, and I don't think that idea is quite as clean as everybody makes it out to be. I think it's hard for all of us to you
would reach level 100 by the third region.
it's a clunky idea. So I think a lot about like, okay, well, what if it wasn't another region? What if it was a bunch of other regions and they were like levels with bosses?
Yeah.
And it's like you go to this other region because it's a part of it, and you go through this part. It's like a dungeon with a boss at the end, and then you come back. And
kind of like what we saw in Scarlet and Violet, right? We don't go to the Unova region, but we get a taste of its culture. Right? Maybe not its culture, but you're right. We go to Kitakami. It's a singular location in another region. I think that is brilliant.
Yeah.
If we're gonna talk about a villain who is like traditional, and that's kind of like their whole thing, I would like to formally suggest Volo.
Yeah,
Volo. He's back.
They literally like they have this weird line where like Laventon says, I just have a feeling that we haven't seen the last of Volo, and that's the last you see of him.
Dude, imagine he's in Legends ZA.
Dude, I think Gen 10, I think all of these guys are coming back.
I would not be mad with Volo being Marvel's Thanos.
That would be cool.
Pokemon's Thanos, you know?
We're going that far with Volo?
Yeah, dude, man. I would take it. My big theory with Volo is that he is not from the past, because Cynthia has an ancestor in the past, Kogita, and he's actually from the future. And that's why he knows everything about the Celestica people, and he's time traveling, because he has this line where he says, I will get Arceus. I don't care how many years, decades, or centuries it takes me, which is like, how many centuries? Like, because he's a time traveler. He can... Centuries are nothing to him. He's Kang the Conqueror.
I think maybe to go back to the idea of Gen 10, because that would be really cool if they could flesh out Volo more. But I'm thinking about right now, like along the same line of celebration, we also have to think about what kind of Pokemon would be in this game. And would there be a new archetype of Pokemon like Paradox Pokemon, right? Or like Megas, right? What would that be? Whether it's a battle gimmick or an archetype like an Ultra Beast. And I like the idea of either that. Listen, because it's a celebration, they could return to older things. But I kind of like the idea of almost like, maybe taking an older concept, twisting it, and making it similar to the older concept and making it something new. I like the idea, right? If you have this evil villain that's possessed with reviving the idealized past, what if that same villain wants to, again, this is Generation 1, clone Pokemon of the past, and the person is cloning all of our favorites into these like horrible Frankenstein versions of them, right? I don't think that's something that's been explored as an archetype in Pokemon before, right? You get like a Frankenstein, you get a revived, cloned Charizard, right? Or a clone. You get all the clone starters. You could even get a clone of Mewtwo, and they're just like, I don't know. I guess Mewtwo is a clone. But I think that could be a really cool
Mew 3.
Yes, type of Pokemon to explore. I like that idea a lot.
Not to go full fan game psycho, but I've been thinking about this idea a lot of how you take the idea of kind of nostalgia or a celebratory past, and how do you gamify that into something in a battle? How do you make that something? And I'm like, what if you had your Charizard, okay?
Yeah.
And your Charizard had the ability to channel other Charizards in the multiverse. So you've got your Charizard, and he's out there. He's living his life. And then he turns into a Gen 1 sprite right in front of your eyes.
Whoa. That's kind of cool, man.
And he's just chilling there. Gen 1 sprite Charizard.
That's pretty cool.
Like, I don't like there's a lot of like what would that even do? I don't know. But you know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I wonder if they could pull something like that off. That'd be so crazy.
I just saw this clip of Charizard and its Terraform. It's all pixelated, kind of like a sprite.
Well, and the only reason I bring that up is because I love this idea of, obviously you keep it all 3D. That's much easier. Yeah. But what if you're going like through these portals or whatever? You're going to these key events from past Pokemon games, and everything changes. So you see your team that you brought with you, like in the art style from that game that you're traveling to. Like that'd be so sick.
That would be incredible.
It's so much work.
Didn't that new Dragon Age or that Dragon Quest game do something similar?
It's similar.
It's on my list. It's obviously there's only two different styles to play through, but like you can play in full 3D and then I think just by a switch of a button, you can now play the game in HD 2D, which is kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, that's that. What do you think, Lumi? That's insane.
I know. That'd be cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Just not super like that's not really where I get
your
my
priorities
nostalgia from.
Oh, sure.
I'm not passionate about it, but I mean, it's objectively a cool idea, you know?
Yeah, but not even the pixel art, but I do love that idea of like going through like some sort of ultra wormhole, right? As we were discussing. And then you basically, not only are you in the Pokemon, or you're not only are you in that new world, but you yourself show up in that, I guess how we saw it in a way. I'm thinking of Into the Spider-Verse. You know how they kind of depict the how
yeah,
they kind
that's a great
how they kind of illustrate that you're in a different timeline,
like a Looney Tunes character. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I'm imagining, and I mean, maybe that's crazy for a Pokemon game, but that would be beautiful. You know, Pokemon already shows up in so many different formats, so I could see it, man. That's really cool, and that's how you get everyone. Like again, how would someone talk about this game, right, to their friends? How do they share that idea of what the game is and distill whatever it is to their friend on a car ride or in a work DM, right? They go, bro, you got to play this game. It's sick. You can turn. I guess I don't know how good that sounds. It sounds cool to me, but that usually is a fun gauge. Yeah, you get to your Charizard. You get to play it like, but it looks like red and blue. Remember when we played red and blue, or whatever? Maybe that's actually not as potent when we look back.
I mean, even if there's just like a
3DS
player
titles.
versus player feature where they're like Gen 1 style, and so your battle looks like you're playing on the Game Boy, like just between like you and your friend, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I'm like okay. All right, so if I'm game designing hat on.
Sure.
All right, like there's so much potential in saying, okay, in this game, we're going to another universe where the rules are different. And even before you get into art style stuff, just as it pertains to battling, like imagine where it's like, oh my God, you've brought your team, you're in this alternate timeline, and in this timeline, all of the type advantages are the opposite. Oh my God. Or it's like,
I definitely thought that was going to be real.
Battles. They did that in X and Y.
Or like, hey, now we're in this timeline, and this is the dimension where speed acts differently. And instead of speed determining who moves first, it determines how many times you can attack.
Yeah.
Kind of
just like inspired by
inspired by Legends Arceus in that. And
sure.
And then there's like, this is the realm in which what do you call those status effects are all amplified. So if you get hit by a status, like there's so much gameplay potential.
Yeah.
And then what you could do with that is have, Pokemon, big thing lately is that they're living games and they do like events and they have constant things going on. And it's like, oh my God, we're all fighting. We're doing PvP. Dusty, this month, we have to go to the ethereal realm.
Sure.
Our battles so now they all use the ethereal realm rules.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. That is true. So another part of that conversation that we were having so long ago that I just remembered is that idea of a living, like a living game. And what if Gen 10 is that opportunity for them to test out a living game where you get your base game and it's all about celebration, and then for maybe longer than just a 3-year cycle, they're giving us DLCs that allow us to I guess we've kind of already spoken about the revisiting, but maybe the DLC is access to parts of those other regions. I think that could be something as well, because that's what people have been talking about that forever. A living game, an MMORPG, right? I don't think we're ever going to get that. I don't think that's as good of a thing as people think it is. But yeah,
living game has a little bit of a different modern context too, because I'm not necessarily talking about a live service game. I'm talking about just kind of doing what Pokemon already does, where the games get longer and longer lifespans.
Yeah,
because they give them legs, they support them over time. Right. You get more purchases over time via DLC, via other things as well. And I think that you see that that's something that they're investing in. I don't think that they can just keep doing raid battles forever and kind of changing that. So again, imagine like, oh my God, you know what I want? Okay.
Like every year there should be a new season.
No, every season. So instead of like, this is the new raid battle going on, imagine this. You get to go to a different universe in the multiverse where there's a different Elite Four and champion. So in this universe,
jeez, that's cool.
You take some character from the games, and it's like, oh my god, this is the universe where Hao went on a psychopathic rampage and he killed all of the other, the kahunas.
Yeah.
And now you've got to go fight deranged Hao. And like, man, that'd be so sick. Like, there's so much potential in.
We see those multiverse things in the ultra wormholes. You know, like you were saying, Lumi, with Guzzlord. Like that's
like an alternate version of Alola that's been kind of destroyed. You also have some stuff like Annabelle is not from our universe. She's the Battle Tower Frontier Brain and Emerald, and she's Looker's like partner in Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Sun and Moon. You know, they talk about how like she's from another dimension. There's other. I feel like there's other examples of like the animes played with variants a lot. They had like a whole like multiverse episode in Journeys where like there was like an alternate Ash who like was still using his Infernape, and a Dawn who like had won the Pokemon League.
Yeah,
instead of
there was an alternate Ash.
There's been 2 alternate Ashes. There's been that one who like still had Infernape, and then there was like still used him on his team, and then there was one who was like in X and Y who was like incredibly wimpy and like scared.
No.
Yeah.
Wow. What is this? Oh, what alternate Ash?
Alternate Ash. Let me see him. Wimpy Ash. We type it in.
Alternate Ash and
alternate world Ash.
That's one of them. Yeah, that's the one from Journeys.
Oh my
god.
God.
That's him meeting him.
Oh, see, I got to tell you, part of my idea too was that this will be the first time we'll see Ash Ketchum himself in a mainline Pokemon game, and that's how you do it. You bring him in from the multiverse.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Have you battle him. He's retired now. We don't have to worry about him in the anime.
All right.
Passio, that's another thing. Passio gets really into Masters. It gets really into the multiverse stuff.
Yeah. Another fun idea.
They like it.
Yeah, dude, the multiverse is crazy because it really does open up any sort of possibility that you could possibly think of.
Dude, they've been doing multiverse since like...
For sure, yes.
Isn't like the whole premise of like Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby?
Yeah.
That's not...
That's
right?
all.
That's
all
something,
multiverse.
Right?
Shoot,
okay.
even
every single
like
game file that you play is another timeline of the same main character.
The Zarude movie, the Zarude, Zeraora, and Marshadow movie, the I Choose You, that's an alternate Ash. It's literally an alternate version of Ash's story. Like you see him get Butterfree, release Butterfree, get Charizard, but it's a different universe.
Yeah. Okay. See, so, and that's the thing. I feel like you can kind of put a finger on how this company likes to and what they're interested in, how they celebrate, and like, and just like the things that they lean into. And I just cannot see it being like, oh, Gen 10, we're going to China, and it's just a game. It's just another game. It's I just can't see it. I know, and so I see that tossed around a lot, and I just think it'll be more specific than that.
No, I'm totally with you.
Yeah. So I like the multiverse thing just because I can see where that idea has kind of like been planted and will have been growing for the past however many years, and I think it allows you to do just whatever you want to do. Honestly, you can. Yeah.
Paradox Pokemon. They're from alternate timelines. They literally say that.
Yeah, perfect.
Legend ZA is probably going to be another one of those, right? We talked about it on the other episode, and another isekai moment. So this could be the very same thing. Yeah, man, that's exciting. Another fun idea is, what if Gen 10 is the first game where there's 3 version exclusives, right? I'm thinking of red, blue, green, right? Those were right. There are no.
My brain is splitting.
There's no box legendary for Gen 1, right?
There's no box legendary. Okay, yeah, that's true.
So.
Oh my god! So wait, so you're thinking three games, the 3 starters?
Yeah. Yep. Pretty cool.
I've got to take this back to the lab. I'm so sorry. I've got to run tests on this. I simply cannot comment at this time.
Hey, Lumi, let's thank our sponsors.
Oh, yes. Okay, so we want to thank all of our sponsors, of course, all of you, the legendary tier members, the box legendary tier members, but we want to give a special by name shout out to our mythical tier members: Hayden Segal, Indiana Jenkins, Ryan Amphosinus, Coronet Highlander, Tyler Low 15, Primal Gray, Sully the Skeleton, Matt Hale, the Pokekid 01. We want to give a special shout out to our Arceus tier supporters: Young Smokey, Case, and Hayes, and a Gigantamax size shout out to our Game Freak Inc. level supporters: Drogame, Bramtastic, Rilo, and Sheev Burger. Thank y'all so much.
Guys, that list gets longer and longer and longer every single week. If you guys like the show, support the show. But thank you guys so much for your continued support in the driest Pokemon period of all time, in the last decade. Yeah, this show is growing. This list is growing. You guys have come out. You guys have ensured that the show will continue. If you want to support, if you want to have your name read, if you want to support the podcast, you can, for just $5, you can become a YouTube channel member, a supporter. You can become a Patreon supporter. Links in the description, and get access to our secret Discord. You get also access to our entire catalog of Secret Power podcast episodes. Ton of juicy stuff there.
Wait. You get the whole library?
The entire library.
The whole of it.
Okay, wait. Tell me, what was the most recent Secret Power about?
It was about me moving, because I moved.
Lumi
so
moved.
this is behind the curtain content.
Yeah, this is.
Oh yes.
This
absolutely.
is like getting on a what
Delicious.
often happens. Yeah, you get to sit in on a group call with all
Give me a
three of
taste.
us, and we just talk about stuff, and it's private, so we can
Soul ate an octopus.
we can just hang out. We can just hang out. Talk
Ooh.
about our feelings.
The inner circle.
The inner circle. Yeah, you get
Okay.
you get to kind of look behind the curtain.
Wow.
But you also get access to other perks, include a discount on all of our merchandise, and you also in the secret Discord we have a battle competition, and that's been a ton of fun.
League.
I'm battling like 3 people this week as an Elite 4 member. Full details.
Yeah.
If you join, if you join, you can enter the league and compete your way through the tournament or through the league. It's not a tournament; it's a league.
I love the league. People in your Discord, they make videos of the battles that they do against you guys.
Charsavic Valley.
I watch all of them.
Do you
They
really?
are yes.
Do you really?
All of them.
Holy cow.
yes.
That's
they are
sick.
awesome, dude.
That's
they
amazing.
are
That's
awesome.
amazing.
It's so sick. Yeah, no, I love it. It's such a cool thing. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool to hear that you watch it. Yeah, man, the community's growing. It makes me so happy. I'm blessed that to have so many of you guys supporting the show and making this thing possible.
What's your favorite color?
Black and White 2 remake coming in.
That was good. That was good. You saved it. Oh
All right.
my god.
And if you've stayed this long, sorry about the video quality. I have no idea why these 2 guys are freezing on Discord. But anyways, I don't even know. I'm pretty exhausted.
You know what I want to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Somebody
gotta
might
plug
be able
Jake
to find
too,
it.
by the way. His links are in the description.
No. So some
part of the show.
some time ago, I was on a prior Hidden Power podcast, and I said you must bring Psyduck to Pokemon Unite, and you must not let him evolve, because I said I specifically wanted it to be like Pokemon Concierge's Psyduck. I was like, you cannot let that man evolve. And I gotta tell you, obviously it's not Pokemon Concierge's Psyduck, but Psyduck is in Pokemon Unite, and he does not evolve.
Yep.
Nope.
I feel like my record at leaking now is pretty good.
Oh yeah.
It might be better
I-
than ours. Yeah.
So I gotta tell you, because when I said this, it felt so unlikely.
Yeah.
Everyone laughed. We were having a good time. But now there he is. And really quick, I've been playing some Pokemon Unite lately, and I've actually been having fun. So shout out. Yeah, I got in there. Had a very sweet moment where I recognized my friend's username in an online match. We got randomly paired together. We started running around each other like, oh my god, it's you!
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
But so I'm really excited for Psyduck, but part of why I brought Psyduck up on that past episode was that I was saying I think Psyduck is like having a moment, and it's leading up to something. And I don't
Golduck.
Dude, I don't quite know what yet, because I got to tell you, I don't think that's it, because I think Golduck is seen as exorable from Psyduck, and I feel that something is happening for this sweet yellow man.
Regional evolution.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like it's eating at me. But I just feel that my favorite Pokemon Psyduck he's going to the big time.
Yeah.
And
Concierge is getting a second season.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god.
He got greenlit for a second season.
He's a star. So I just wanted to give it up to my boy. Anything that happens to him in the future.
Listen, we support it. Yeah.
I know exactly what it is. It's the sequel to Detective Pikachu, Sheriff Psyduck.
Sheriff? That'd be so good.
Yeah.
Cop Psyduck?
Sheriff Psyduck. Oh yeah.
Oh my
That's
god.
gotta exist.
Give him a badge.
He's got crime to solve and a past to run from.
Give him a badge.
True detective.
Give him a gun.
Bad headache.
True detective.
Give him a
gun.
gun.
Yeah. Psyduck
He's
with
gonna
guns.
have a gun. 10 out of 10.
Oh my god. Well, hey,
man.
Jake, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
We recorded a lot
you.
today. Thank you for being part of the Hidden Power universe. Yeah.
I love it. Do you feel okay? When I started today, I said I was but a beginner, but a sweet baby Pokemon in the world of Pokemon theory crafting. Do you feel that I'm evolving right before your eyes?
You have evolved.
You're a mega
Dare I
say
it? I think I just got the Jake Steinbergite. And I think that we're about to see a mega evolution.
Yes. This is what I wanted. Oh, it feels good. I
want to be a future Paradox. Can I be that?
Ooh, future Paradox Dusty.
That'd be pretty cool. Iron Horns.
Wow.
Isn't that already something?
Cool.
Iron Treads.
That makes me feel good. I come on here and I know that like the Pokemon theory crafting is serious. It is like an industry.
Yeah.
So I hope that when people watch this episode, they don't just go, "Oh no, who is this smooth brain?" Which is fine. But
I don't think so,
Jake. I wanted to put up a fight today.
Listen, I think you know how to make a pitch, and I think your perspective is refreshing because I think what you're describing is kind of like groupthink. I think there's like some qualifications for, or what am I trying to think of? Like there's a blueprint for Pokemon theories, which may or may not be Birdkeeper Toby. I don't know. But there's a different type. There's a wider blueprint beyond Toby that was created.
Yeah.
And I think people are just trying to. It's like anything. It's like any culture. It's like once it's defined, then people just like try to emulate whatever that is.
It's a formula. Yeah. You look up to it. Of course.
And I think when you come in with ideas that don't have to do with a Wikipedia article, but instead have to do with like things that you're playing in other games, you're playing the ball, man. You're playing by the same rules, I think, but just you're looking at different things. I don't know. I love getting new people on this channel.
Thanks, buddy.
Not that you're new, but for those different opinions, because I do think there's a lot of. Can I use this term? There's a lot of circle jerking going on, right?
Wow.
There's a lot of that going on.
Save it for the secret.
There's a lot of that going on in the community. That's all I'm saying.
This is PG.
Oh,
Psyduck.
Dude, I love this.
Draw him with a gun now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Put a laser beam on his head.
Well, thank you both for having me. I appreciate it. I know it's a long time to spend with someone, so I feel privileged to be invited into your space for real. Thank you. Yeah,
for sure, man. You're always welcome to be here.
Yeah, show some love to the man, the myth, the legend, Jake Steinberg in the comments below.
I'm craving another live stream, another 6-hour live stream.
Yeah.
When's the next Pokemon event? Like, we got to do that soon.
Tomorrow.
I'm gonna go. Let my dog out, and I'm gonna see you boys in the DMs. I'll see you soon. Peace. Subscribe if you're new. Watch this episode right here. Peace.
I can give you like a good 30 seconds.
Okay, go.
Okay.
So this is Secret Power?
30-second clip.
Don't worry, I won't record this. I won't show it to anyone.
You can no. You can use this for anything. This is okay.
Okay, yeah.
Now here's a real take for you. That the Pokemon people are too cowardly.
Oh shit.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, let's hear it.
I am 100% sure. 100%. I do not use that lightly. 100% sure. As sure as I am of my own name. Okay?
Jack.
100% sure that Pokemon Legends ZA, that there will be a trailer released within the month of September. I am 100% sure. And I feel that it is very obviously going to be part of a Nintendo Switch 2 showcase.
Okay, I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
This is something you have to do when you reveal a new console. You have to say, hey, there's still, don't worry, Nintendo Switch 1 people. We've got Metroid Prime 4 and Pokemon Legends ZA still coming to Nintendo Switch 1.
Yeah.
Just in the same way that it's like you reveal the Nintendo Switch and you go, hey, don't worry, we got stuff still coming on the 3DS. We got Metroid Returns. We got this other dumb thing.